Everybody wants the reward, the money, the body, the respect, the freedom, the dream life. But nobody wants to wait. Nobody wants to grind for years. Nobody wants to hear the word patience. But let me tell you something most people never understand. Patience is key. Everything you want takes time. You don't build greatness in a week. You don't create a legacy overnight. And you sure as hell don't become a man of value by rushing the process. People give up because they think it's taking too long. But the truth is, it's taking exactly as long as it's supposed to. The real question is, can you stay focused long enough to see it pay off? Because most won't. Most people quit at 40%. They want fast. They want easy. But the greats are built in silence. They master the art of showing up, even when nothing's happening, even when it's boring, even when it hurts. That's what separates winners from everyone else. They master patience. Patience isn't soft. It's not weakness. It's discipline. It's self-control. It's knowing you're not just putting in work, you're planting seeds. And when the time is right, those seeds will grow, but not before. Fast results are a trap. Greatness takes time. We live in a world obsessed with fast money, fast results, fast success, fast fame. Everybody's in a rush. Everyone wants to go viral. Nobody wants to build. Nobody wants to bleed. Nobody wants to wait. Because we've been fed this fantasy. If it doesn't happen fast, something's wrong. If the results aren't instant, it must be failing. But here's the raw, unfiltered, grown man truth. Fast success is a lie, a trap, a hollow shell. It's fake, fragile, and in the real world, it breaks. You don't build a kingdom overnight. You don't carve greatness in a weekend. You don't become a savage warrior by sprinting for 10 days and calling it a journey. You earn it over time. You bleed for it over time. You suffer for it, fight for it, protect it over years. Everybody wants the body, but they don't want the 5 a.m. alarms, the clean eating, the lonely reps, the sore days, the nights where you stare at the ceiling wondering if it's all worth it. Everybody wants the money, but they don't want the risk, the failure, the years of doubt, the years of being broke while your friends spend every weekend living their best life. You're building quietly, relentlessly, patiently. That's what it takes. Because the man who shows up only when it's easy will never survive when it gets real. And it always gets real. The world doesn't reward speed. It rewards resilience. It rewards the ones who stay standing when the dust settles, when the fake ones fall off, when the hype dies, when it's just pain and silence left. You want greatness? Here's your receipt. Pain, and lots of it. Boredom, because repetition builds champions. Loneliness, because few are willing to walk this path. Time, more than you expected. And when the world doesn't clap, when nobody notices, when it feels like you're pouring everything into something and getting nothing back, that's when it's working. Because you're becoming someone who doesn't break when life hits back, someone who doesn't flinch when it's unfair, when it's slow, when it's thankless. Because every real man, every high-level savage you admire, they all walked through hell. They all waited longer than they wanted. They all suffered in silence. And they all came out the other side, battle-hardened, cold-blooded, unstoppable. Greatness is never owned by the impatient. You don't get it because you want it. You get it because you refuse to quit, even when it's easier to just be average. Let me say this loud. You're not meant to peak fast. You're meant to rise slowly. To grow roots so deep no storm can rip you out of the ground. To build a mindset so sharp you can walk through fire and not lose focus. To become so disciplined, so damn committed that the results don't even matter anymore. You do it because it's who you are now. That's the real reward, the transformation, the quiet evolution from who you were to who you chose to become. So if it's taking time, good. If it feels slow, perfect. That means you're doing it the right way. Because real is slow. Strong is slow. Unstoppable is slow. Let the soft ones chase speed. Let the clowns fake it for clout. Let the weak brag about things that won't even matter in 5 years. You build silently. You train when no one's looking. You study. You improve. You outlast. You let the results speak in 10 years, not 10 seconds. Because when a real man arrives, he doesn't show up with noise. He shows up with weight, with presence, with scars, with stories of battles fought and survived, and that can't be faked. That can't be rushed. So embrace the long game, marry the process, be the kind of man who takes his time because he knows his time is coming. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but when it comes, it'll be permanent, unshakable, untouchable, because it wasn't built fast, it was built right. So remember this, fast success is a trap. Greatness takes time, and you've got what it takes to wait, to grind, to rise, to own your future like a man, one hard-earned inch at a time. You don't deserve the results if you can't wait for them. Let me say it louder so it burns into your skull. If you can't endure the wait, you don't deserve the reward. Not now, not ever. You want to win? You want to walk into a room and command it? You want to be the man with respect, presence, power, and the kind of success that makes people shut up and watch? Then you better understand one thing. Nothing worth having will ever come quickly. Everybody wants to win. But the second it takes longer than they expected, they fall apart. They quit the gym after 2 weeks. They give up on their craft after 1 bad month. They fold when the applause stops. You think the greats made it by accident? You think discipline was optional for them? You think they got results just because they wanted it bad enough? No, they bled for it. They went through seasons of complete silence, complete solitude, complete darkness, and they stayed locked in. While everyone else took shortcuts, they took the stairs. While everyone else was chasing attention, they were chasing mastery. While everyone else folded in the storm, they became the storm. Because deep down, they knew what most people will never accept. This game belongs to the patient, not the perfect, not the lucky, the patient. You see the physique. You don't see the years of showing up sore, tired, hungry. No cameras, no applause, no praise. You see the empire. You don't see the early mornings, the late nights, the constant failures that nearly broke them. You see the power. You don't see the process, the pain, the repetition, the grinding pace of slow, invisible progress. But they saw it. They lived it. They embraced it. Because they understood something you better burn into your mindset. The reward is only valuable because of the wait. The time it takes is the test. It separates the men from the boys, the disciplined from the delusional, the built-from-scratch kings from the comfort-chasing clowns. You don't build something unshakable in 30 days. You don't build a legacy in a weekend. You don't become elite by reading quotes and watching a few hype videos. You become elite by grinding with no spotlight, by pushing when nobody is watching, by executing when your motivation is dead and your mind is screaming to quit. Patience isn't weakness. It's lethal. It's a quiet form of domination that turns average men into absolute monsters. Because while everyone else is looking for shortcuts, you're building foundations. While everyone else is chasing what's easy, you're mastering what's eternal. Let me ask you this. Can you work like your life depends on it, even when the results haven't arrived yet? Can you go 5 years without external validation and still show up with fire? Can you trust the process when the process is breaking you down piece by piece? Because if you can't, then stop pretending you're built for this. Don't wear ambition like a costume. Either you're in this for real, or you're just another tourist trying to take pictures at the top without climbing the damn mountain. Every second you delay the instant gratification. Every time you say, not yet, I'll earn it, you're becoming more dangerous, more rare, more inevitable. So when the world doesn't give you what you want right away, smile. It means you're exactly where you need to be. Let them doubt you. Let them sleep on you. Let them think you're losing. Because while they're checking for results in days, you're building something that will last decades. Remember this: fast is fragile, slow is strong, fast breaks, slow builds, fast fades, slow reigns. So don't beg for fast, beg for forever, beg for the pain, beg for the wait, because that's where men are made. You don't need it now. You need it earned. You don't want it easy. You want it undeniable. And when it finally comes, you'll look back and laugh at how long it took. Because by then you won't just have the results, you'll have become the man who deserved them. Time is a weapon if you stay consistent. Let's make something clear right now. You don't need another motivation boost. You don't need another quote, another YouTube video, another podcast that makes you feel good for 10 minutes. What you need is a spine. What you need is a standard. What you need is a level of discipline that doesn't break just because you're not feeling it today. Because at the end of the day, the guy who stays consistent, even when he's tired, even when he's overwhelmed, even when it feels like nothing is changing, that's the guy who wins. People out here worshiping motivation like it's a god. But motivation is soft. It's a mood. Discipline is a weapon. Consistency is the blade. Anyone can go hard for a week. Anyone can grind for 3 days straight. But can you keep going on day 67 when no one's clapping for you? Can you keep grinding when your results are crawling and your doubts are screaming? That's where champions are born, in the boredom, in the darkness, in the silence. Because here's the truth. One great day doesn't build a legacy. One bad day doesn't destroy it. But what you do every day, that becomes your identity. You can't fake it. You can't cheat it. You either put in the reps or you don't. You either live it or you pretend. Time is ruthless. It doesn't wait. It doesn't pause for your problems. It doesn't slow down because you're tired or your friends are partying or your girlfriend doesn't understand the grind. Time moves forward and you're either getting sharper or weaker. But here's the power move. When you show up every day without fail, time starts working for you instead of against you. It becomes your ally, your silent partner. It amplifies everything you do, every workout, every session, every study hour, every clean meal. It all stacks, quietly, consistently, unstoppably. And then one day you look back and realize something insane. You're not even the same person anymore. You're stronger, you're faster, you're more dangerous. Not because you shouted louder, but because you kept showing up when others disappeared. That's what separates the real ones from the wishers. Consistency through discomfort, discipline through doubt, grit through the grind. You don't become a warrior because of how loud you talk. You become one because of how long you last. Through boredom, through pain, through rejection, through failure, through loneliness, through everything. And you keep swinging. You want to build a life that intimidates the average man? Then you need to become the kind of man that doesn't miss, doesn't skip, doesn't flinch, doesn't fold. Because while the world waits for the right moment, you're out here turning every moment into war. While they look for balance, you create chaos and thrive inside it. While they post quotes, you're too busy building. While they dream, you execute relentlessly. The truth is simple. Consistency is your competitive advantage, not speed, not intelligence, not charisma, but the ability to do the right thing, even when it sucks, even when you're tired, even when you're angry, even when nobody's watching, even when no one claps. You keep going because you understand something most men never will. Time is not the enemy. Time is the forge, and consistency is the fire that shapes the blade. You want a legacy? You want to walk into every room and have people feel the discipline in your presence? You want a life that breaks generational curses, that changes your family tree? Then kill the excuses, bury the laziness, and master the art of showing up day in, day out, no matter what, every damn day. Because when you do that long enough, you don't chase greatness, you become it. The finish line isn't for the fastest, it's for the most patient. Be patient. Two words that sound calm, but underneath, they're savage, they're brutal. They're the foundation of every man who ever built something that couldn't be broken. Patience isn't passive, it's pressure, it's power, it's pure discipline wrapped in silence. This life, it doesn't reward the loudest. It doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the one who stays in the fight, round after round, without losing focus. This is not a sprint, it's a war of attrition. And the one who wins isn't the one who ran the fastest. It's the one who refused to sit down. You don't need to explode out the gate. You don't need to impress anyone in your first week. You don't need instant feedback. You need grit. You need hunger. You need obsession with the long game. Because the truth is brutal. Success is slow. Change is slow. Growth is painfully slow. But it's coming. It's coming for the one who shows up every day without needing permission, praise, or proof. Be patient. And while you're waiting, do the work. Bleed into your craft. Show up when it's hard. Stay sharp when nobody's watching. You don't get stronger by rushing. You get stronger by staying. You don't get rewarded for moving fast. You get rewarded for moving right. Most people are addicted to speed. They want it now, results now, money now, muscle now, respect now. But you're not most people. You're not looking for microwave success. You're building something that'll last longer than opinions, longer than trends, longer than hype. So build slow, build deep, build with patience so cold it scares people. This is how real men move. Deliberate, precise, unshaken. You walk through hell without flinching. You do the reps that no one will see. You lift when you're sore. You grind when you're doubting. You execute when your mind screams to stop. And you do it all without a deadline, because you're not just chasing results. You're chasing mastery, and mastery takes time. Be patient. Let everyone else rush. Let them panic when it takes too long. Let them quit when it gets boring. You're not in this for comfort. You're in this to dominate. And domination doesn't happen in a week. It's built in years of silence, sweat, sacrifice, and unshakable patience. You hold the line. When it gets heavy, you hold. When it gets lonely, you hold. When it gets slow, you hold. Because you know something they don't. The ones who win aren't always the ones who started strong. They're the ones who stayed when it stopped being fun. They're the ones who kept going when the fire died. They're the ones who refused to break. You want to become unstoppable? Be patient. That's it. Be patient when the gains are slow. Be patient when the climb feels endless. Be patient when the results are microscopic. Because while the world celebrates flashes of success, you're building a legacy that'll echo for generations. The crown isn't for the first man to show up. It's for the last man standing. So you grind, you bleed, you break, and you rebuild. You take your hits and keep moving, not quickly, but unshakably. And when it's all over, when the fast ones burn out, when the quitters fade away, when the hype is gone, you'll still be here, focused, calm, and finished. Because you didn't sprint, you endured. Because you didn't beg, you built. Because you didn't panic, you were patient. And patience, that's your weapon, that's your edge, that's your legacy. In the end, everything you dream of, the body, the success, the lifestyle, the respect, it all comes down to one thing. Can you be patient enough to earn it? Because time will test you. It'll make you question everything. It'll whisper, give up. But if you can shut that voice down and keep showing up, you win. No shortcuts, no instant glory, Just quiet work, done for years. That's how legends are built. That's how dreams become real. If you're one of the rare ones who gets it, like the video, subscribe for more content like this, and drop a comment, "I choose patience," to let me know you watched all the way through, and you're locked in for the marathon, not the sprint. Until next time, trust the grind, respect the timing. See you in the next one.